to tonight's leadership webinar. We want to thank you for attending. It's going to be a power-packed event. To kick us off, we have our CEO, Dan Almond, with some announcements, and to start this great leadership webinar. Dan, welcome to the program tonight.
Thank you, Randy. Welcome to QSC Nation. I'll be very quick. Just a reiteration of what we talked about last night on the quick start. Number one is we are extending the restart for NMD and Vice Chairman promotions through January 31st, 2014. So you have through January 31st to sign the form with your upline and have additional time to now qualify for the RPM program for NMDs and Vice Chairmen. So even if you joined a year ago, you can now still benefit from the quick start of 25 days to become an NMD, 100 days to become a Vice Chairman. So very, very simple. We want to give every single person that opportunity to become an NMD and then the Vice Chairman. Second thing, which is very, very exciting, we want to announce is that for the Vice Chairman RPM promotion, we're going to have a bonus. It's a first of the year bonus, just like we just had the Christmas bonus for NMDs, and many, many of you became NMDs. Many, many of your associates, your recruits became NMDs. Now we want people to become Vice Chairman. And Tony Reyes always likes to run the Vice Chairman, so we're going to call this the Sprint to Vice Chairman. We have until March 31st of this year to become a Vice Chairman under RPM, and we're giving you 3 NMDs as a bonus. So you only need 7 NMDs to become a Vice Chairman under the RPM. So you become a qualified Vice Chairman under the RPM model if you place 7 NMDs by March 31st, 2014. Nothing could be easier for you to become a Vice Chairman, so we're very excited about this. So we want to make sure that everyone understands that. You do whatever you can to create as many of those NMDs, minimum of 7 under you, and you will become a new Vice Chairman. What I'd like to do is bring on Kelly Schnorberg, our National Sales Director.
Thank you, Dan. Good evening, QS2 Nation. Folks, what I want to do before I start the body of this call tonight is I want to share a little history with you. Back in 1977, there was an insurance company called A.L. Williams that was started in Atlanta, Georgia. In 14 years, they literally ended up recruiting 750,000 licensed agents. And let me define recruit. Probably 99% of these people had never been in the insurance industry. They had never had an insurance license. So they literally took them through pre-licensing. They had to get licensed, get appointed with the carrier so they could sell insurance products. But the end result of having 750,000 agents is from 77 to 91, they went out and sold 10 million term insurance policies. They did $360 billion in face amount of term insurance. 77 to 91, that's 10% of the term insurance sold in America. 1991, Art Williams ends up selling his company to Primerica Financial. When he sells his company in 1991, he gets a check written to him for over $400 million. He gets $1.8 billion in stock in Citicorp. Literally in 1992, a high school football teacher coach is now on the Forbes 400 list. Well, folks, let me tell you why I'm telling you this story. 1977, Art Williams picked up the phone and he called Joel Christie. And obviously he was looking for insurance carrier contracts, but he was also looking for money. He was looking for financial backing in his company. Well, Joel Christie introduces Art to a gentleman by the name of Stanley Byer. Stanley Byer was chairman of the board of a company called PennCorp. PennCorp owned 7 different insurance companies. They were the second largest owner of banks in the southwestern United States. And at one time, they were the largest publicly traded company on NASDAQ. Well, I want to ask everybody a question on the phone tonight. If Art Williams would have never met Stanley Byer through Joel Christie, and Stanley and PennCorp wouldn't have wrote a $9 million check to Art for the proper funding of his company, number one. Number two, if he wouldn't have had Stanley as his mentor for the next 14 years, in other words, Stanley and PennCorp were A.L. Williams, Art Williams' mentor. Not only were they the money behind the company, but they were his mentor. Number 3, PennCorp actually built A.L. Williams' home office. Well, folks, let me tell you the significance of this. The significance is A.L. Williams literally changed the life insurance industry as we know it today. Back in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, probably 90% of the life insurance sold was old whole life insurance, which was high premium, low coverage. Yet back in 1977, there were 77 million boomers. Every 7 to 8 seconds, somebody was getting married, having children. The demographics said on them 77 million boomers, what they needed was term insurance, high coverage, low premium. Well, that's where buy term, invest the difference came about. Well, literally, A.L. Williams forced the rest of the insurance industry to come out with much more competitive products. See, most people don't even understand our industry. If there wasn't an A.L. Williams, we may still have the same old type of products they had. Well, because of A.L. Williams selling them 10 million term policies, it forced insurance companies to come out with really, really competitive term products, term return of premium products, index universal life products, as well as index universal life living benefits products. So, folks, now that I've told you a little bit about the history, let me tell you what our short-term, mid-term, long-term goals of quantum success strategies are. Number 1, we're going to build $1 billion cap company and do that here in the next 3-4 years. Next 5 to 7 years, we're going to build this a $3 to $5 billion cap company, and over the long term, next 7 to 10 years, we're going to build this a big cap company. We're going to build a $10 billion cap company. So you're probably wondering, what's this have to do with you? In other words, how is this going to affect your family? Well, folks, for the people who understood the A.L. Williams story, the people that got involved in that company in the beginning, that found the right mentor, found the right systems, had the right leader, enormous wealth was created. And let me give you an example. They paid out $1 billion in commissions. Literally from 77 to 91, they paid $1 billion out in commissions. So again, you're probably saying, well, what's in it for me? Well, first of all, we're a startup company. We're only about a year old. We haven't even got out of the basement yet. We haven't even got out of the ground floor. We're just getting started. And let me say this to everybody on the phone, to the people who have been with us since we launched. I'm talking about the Nancy Versosas. I'm talking about the Rocky Narain, Zooey Wynn, Fuji. I'm talking about Zooey Wynn, Tony Reyes. I'm talking about the core group of leaders that we had when we started this company. Guess what every single person in America said when we told them what our vision, what our dream was? They literally sat back and laughed at us. They said, you guys aren't going to be around a year from now. You guys aren't going to be successful. You aren't going to be this. You aren't going to be that. Does that sound familiar? Have you ever had someone in life tell you you're not going to be successful? Well, folks, guess who this company's for? It's for the little guy. It's for the little guy that wants to change their life, whether it's make an extra $500 a month, an extra $1,000, an extra $3,000, an extra $5,000, an extra $10,000. And folks, our opportunity literally is unlimited. Again, in A.L. Williams, to date, they've had 67 people earn 7 figures a year. 2,800 people earn 6 figures a year, and they didn't have any technology. They didn't have the internet back then. Well, folks, guess what our goal is? It's to help you no matter what your background is, no matter what your skill level is, help you accomplish your goals and your dreams. See, the only thing you have to have is a great attitude, a great mindset. You have to bring some commitment to the table. You have to be teachable and coachable. But here's the most important thing you have to do. You have to find a mentor that you will allow to teach you. You have to find a mentor that you will allow to teach you and show you the ropes of this industry, of QS2, how we operate, of our products and services, of our building opportunity. So I'm going to close on this tonight, folks. A year ago, when we started this company, we had the same vision, we had the same dream. same vision, same dream. People laughed at us. They told us we wouldn't be successful. They told us we wouldn't be in business another year from now. That's when we started. Well, let me tell you who our management team consists of now. Everybody's heard about Dan Ahmed, our CEO. Well, Dan's background, he was the #1 earner in MetLife. He started the insurance agency, had 30 agents, first 18 months. He got it to $30 million a year in production. Next 18 months took it to $150 million a year with the same 30 agents. Dan and a guy named Jim Files, who happens to be the president of our company, they started an assets under management company, got it to $200 million, sold it. Jim Files started the software company, got it to $100 million in revenue, took it public, sold it. Well, you remember me talking about this gentleman by the name of Joel Christie? Joel happened to be the national director of sales for PinCorp. He was the gentleman that introduced Art Williams to Stanley Buyer. Stanley wrote a $2 million check. That's what gave A.L. Williams the ability to stay in business. Stanley became Art Williams' mentor for the next 14 years, money behind the company, his mentor. Well, Joel Christie is now part of an executive management committee here at our company. And folks, guess who just became part of our company? Stanley Buyer. Think about what I'm about to say here. In Stanley's career, he's had 7 different insurance companies, 0 failures. He's taken 7 companies from startup to maturity. At one time, the largest publicly traded company on NASDAQ. Well, who do you think Dan Ahmed and Jim Files' mentor is today? Stanley Buyer. Who do you think my mentor is today? Stanley Buyer and Joel Christie. Well, folks, Lily's going to talk about sitting down meeting Stanley, and I'm going to have her tell you what Stanley told her. Folks, we're now in the big leagues. When you have someone that has Stanley Buyer's reputation, credibility, his resume, his track record, and Stanley Buyer has now aligned with QS2, that ought to tell you something. That ought to tell you something. Let me make one more announcement, excuse me. Starting next week, we're going to have 3 leadership calls a week, and 45 minutes of every single call will be training. And some of the training we're going to go over is free licensing, how to navigate ORG's back office. We're going to go over how to do a proper financial needs analysis. We're going to go over how to present term return of premium, index UL living benefits. We're going to go over our rapid promotion model, how to run it and duplicate it the way it should be done, folks. So let me tell you who we're going to do these trainings with. We're going to take the leaders in the field. We're going to take the leaders in the field, and let me tell you something. We got some leaders that are world-class business people. They're world-class people in this industry. We're going to take the leaders in the field, and they're going to conduct the trainings with you. Who better to learn from than someone who's out there in the field every day that recruits a new person, does the financial needs analysis, does internal consumption, then takes that new person out and helps them become a qualified NMD by getting their 5 field training cells. Folks, we're going to take the best of the best in our company. We're going to take people like Nancy Versosa, Rocky Narain, Rob Hodges. We're going to take people like Tony Reyes, people like Fuji. We're going to take the best of the best, Zooey Wynn. We're going to take the best of the best our company has to offer. We're talking about some of the most successful people in America, and they're going to get down and dirty with you. They're going to show you exactly what they do, exactly how they do it, and exactly why they do what they do. So what I'd like to do right now is introduce Lily Tran. Folks, I want you to hear this. Lily's been with an insurance company, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the company, but she's been there 22 years. She has $1.1 billion assets under management. $600 million of it she manages herself. She has 598 agents. Them 598 agents, they manage about 500 million. Lily, in her career, has made as high as 6.2 million in a year. She is a seven-figure earner, multiple seven-figure earner on a year-in, year-out basis. Why in the world would someone like Lily Tran, who's one of the top people in the world in this industry, be at QS2? Well, I'm going to let Lily tell you. Lily, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Kelly. Hi, everybody. Thank you for that introduction. I am really excited to be on this call. It's been a very long and very rewarding week for the last 4 or 5 days, and I wanted to start off by, first of all, saying hello to everybody, and I want to say Happy New Year. I also wanted to say that I got a chance to meet with Mr. Stanley Byer, and I had lunch with him out in Beverly Hills. He took me to a really nice restaurant, and the two of us spent over 3 hours talking, and time just flew by. And if you ever get a chance to sit down with somebody who has done so much in the history of financial services, I guess, you know, if you're into sports, it's like if you get to sit down with a coaching legend, or if whatever you're into, if you get to sit down with somebody who is so well known and so well respected and revered, you know that it's going to be life-changing and even paradigm shifting. And for me, it was a very defining moment in my life. It really is. And I recently got to see him again up in Sacramento at the home office, and I thanked him for that lunch because it really solidified a lot of things for me. And I wanted to share with you, you know, when you get to sit down with someone like that, you expect them to be a certain way. He was nothing at all like I had expected. He was such a gentleman. He was concerned about every detail, if I had enough to eat, if I had enough to drink. You know, he treated me like we were long-lost friends, meeting up again. It didn't feel uncomfortable at all. And one of the great things about Stanley is that he has such a great gift of telling stories and his success, and he tells it as if it's just a casual conversation. It speaks to how humble he is as a person, you know, making billions and billions of dollars and taking 7 companies public. That's a huge feat that probably very few people in this world will ever get a chance to do. So I was very honored and humbled that he wanted to have lunch with me. And so several things he said really stuck out with me and why it was so important for me to be at QS2. He solidified my decision. Number one, he said that he's over 80 years old, right? He's taken 7 companies public. This will probably be number 8 for him. And I was telling him, being Asian, that the number 8 is a very good luck number, and that's my lucky number. And he said that he doesn't have, you know, the rest of his life. He's not a young man, and he can't live his life, you know, the last company that he goes with is going to be a failure. So he basically said to me a couple times, failure is not an option for me. At my age, with my track record, I don't need to do this. I am coming out of retirement. I am committing to working 7 days a week. QS2 is not going to be my hobby. QS2 is not going to be my other business. QS2 will be my number 1 priority. For someone like Stanley to say that QS2 will be their number 1 priority, that they're going to do it 7 days a week, it really resonated with me, because anytime you look at people who are really extremely successful, or they operate at such a peak state and they're high performance people, whether they're athletes, they are so focused. And all they do is eat, breathe, and sleep whatever they're into 150%. So to hear someone like him tell me that he's going to be 7 days a week QS2 led me to think, well, if he's going to do it 7 days a week and he's devoting all his time and energy and his resources to make this company successful, because he wants number 8 and probably his final company to be successful, who am I to question where I'm going to be with this company? With that type of commitment, with that type of person standing there and saying it with such force and with such conviction, You know how sometimes in life you wish you had a camera? I wish I had a camera so I could take a picture of how passionate he was when he was saying those things. It wasn't just there was nobody else around. It wasn't a public conversation so that everyone could hear. He was really speaking from his heart. And I was pouring my heart out too about my concerns, like everybody, my concerns and my thoughts, my vision. And when he laid out his vision and when he told me that failure is not an option, that was enough for me. The second thing he said that really struck me was that he's worked with so many people, the best of the best people, throughout his entire career, going back 40, 50, 60 years in the insurance industry. And for him to tell me that he is so impressed with the leadership, right? Sometimes we become what's called parental deaf. We don't listen to our parents. We take them very casually when they say something because we're so used to them. Well, I think sometimes that might be the case when you think of your leadership. You hear from them on such a regular basis. You talk to them all the time. They're so accessible. They're such servant leaders that sometimes, you don't mean to, but you take them for granted. When someone like a Mr. Stanley Byer tells me how impressed he is with the leadership and the way the leadership is running the company and how he's done a lot of his research and he's, done his due diligence and he would not put his reputation and stake his resources behind a company like this tells me that he's really serious, that he believes that they know where they're going. Right? No one wants to hitch their wagon to someone that doesn't know where they're going, that, people are mostly lost and they're counting on the person that's leading them to take them to the promised land. Well, for Stanley to say that he truly believes 100% in our leadership, which I had already believed myself, and that just solidified, again, for me, how great this leadership is, and that's number 2 reason of why he wants to be full-time and be all in with QS2. Those were the only 2 things outside of our 3-hour conversation that I needed to hear. It gave me such a sense of peace because it's a life-changing decision for me. It's not something casual. I'm not one of those people that's going to dip my toe in and try, oh, it's only $29. Who cares if this thing doesn't work out? At least I get a website. I don't think at that level. I think at a much higher level of how am I going to build and conquer and dominate in this company like I have my entire life. And my thinking is a different level. I'm not a casual person, right? Casual people become casualties of the business. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to eat, breathe, and sleep QS2. And if you know me, I guess Dan and Kelly and others can attest, no matter what time it is, I'm working on the business. I'm working out there, busting my butt every single day. And, I have to admit, I've been a little bit of a whiner. I was telling Dan, I'm so tired. I've been so spoiled. I don't think I've worked this hard for the last 10 years, out field training from morning till night. In the last 5 days, I've promoted out 3 NMDs. The latest one, I just finished up field training. I flew back today, and I was in the field with my NMD, my 3rd one, Cliff Davila, finishing up all his appointments and his promotion. And, I had to create a sense of urgency with my team. They knew that the promotion guidelines were up, and they knew that they needed to get where they wanted to go, so they needed to do whatever it took. So that's one of the things that I wanted to say to you is that, how are you building your business? This is a business, and I wanted, if a Mr. Stanley Byer can come in and tell you how great this company is, and if I come in and I'm not new to the business and I'm telling you that I believe in it and I'm putting all my effort into building, what's stopping you from building it? What's stopping you from getting out there and doing it? What excuses do you have? I'm not saying that your life is not important, but if someone who's a billionaire doesn't even need the money and is going to work 7 days a week, what's your excuse? You the person that needs to pay your mortgage. You the person that wants to give your kids a better life. Well, that's what I want you to think about. And before I get into my Women in Wealth presentation, because I wanted to show you later on what the presentation I did, that we had 100% recruiting success and why I got all these NMDs out of nowhere. They just popped out after this. So I want to go into that afterwards, but who I want to bring in is one of my newest NMDs. She has never been in the financial services industry. She is a mother of 3. She just had a baby about a month and a half ago, her 3rd child. She works in the healthcare business, in the nursing home business with her husband's family. And she is almost 30 years old, and she came to our Friday night event, stayed really late, came with 4 other people. They all got recruited, by the way. And next day, they all got going. They got all their, they scheduled all the recruits. They got all their people. Everyone came with checkbooks. Everyone came ready to get serious about joining the business, about getting products that will change the rest of their lives. You know, this opportunity is so wonderful, but my opinion is the reason why some of you have success and some of you don't, how do you look at this opportunity? How you look at it is how you present it, right? Some of you this morning got to hear from one of my women from Texas. She spent so much money flying out from Houston, and she got stuck in weather. It took her 12, 13 hours and almost $1,100 to get to our women's event out in Folsom from Houston. She stayed and she flew out the next morning. That's, you know what? Success leaves clues. That's someone who wants to be successful, who wants it so badly. She has a customer service job. She doesn't roll around in a lot of money, but she understands that it, you know, it's going to cost her something. She has to invest in her business. It doesn't cost her. It's an investment in her future. And so when I sell this opportunity, I'm selling it not that, you know, that they're going to make millions and millions of dollars, because I cannot guarantee that. But I am selling it as an opportunity for them to change their life, for them to come into an opportunity where they can own their own business. They can, you know, live their best life. Because I tell them, you only have one life to live. Why not live your life by design? Don't live it by chance. Don't let someone else control how much money you make and where your kids go to school. So how are you selling this opportunity is what attracts people. You have to tell them what is in it for them. If you know me, I never talk about commission and how much people are going to make, because I really don't know. But what I talk about is how they're going to grow and how they're going to change and how they're going to change the world and how they're going to be an inspiration to their family. I talk about things that really matter, which is living your best life. And that's what I want you to think about if you want to get more success, because recruiting is the easy part. It's having people retained and actually doing something and moving forward and building a business. That's the hard part that most people stop at. So without further ado, I would like you to hear from my newest NMD, Jacqueline Prater. Jacqueline, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on. I kind of wanted you to share a little about your story and let everyone know a little bit more about you.
Well, I'm a mother of 3, and I work in the care home business with my family. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's really hard work, and we're kind of interested in moving in another direction, the entire family. So in this way, I have a lot of support with family and everything like that. And so my husband also became interested. He's in nursing, and it's all somewhat related. And we're very excited, and I believe that the way that you get ahead in this kind of business is you have to have a lot of faith in what you're doing. You have to really believe in your product, and you have to have a strong desire to be better all the time, every day. Always better yourself and better, grow. I think that's it.
That's great. I wanted you to tell people, because, sometimes people join this opportunity and they think this business is so hard because they have never come from financial services, or they have kids, they have a job, they have so many things going on, and you basically erase every excuse that they have. You have a newborn child, you have other kids, twins, you have a new husband, and you guys work in a 24-hour, 7 days a week facility where you don't even have a vacation. So I want to you to talk about, how did you break the company record of getting to National Marketing Director in 1 hour? Actually, it was 56 minutes to be exact. I mean, you beat everybody.
Well, Obviously, when you hear about something like a really great opportunity like this, you want to share it right away. So we shared, all of the family shared it with each other, and that's kind of how that happened so quickly. Because when you hear about a great opportunity like this, you just want to spread the word to everybody.
Great. And she's really shy and very humble, but I wanted to tell you guys that I really expect a lot from Jacqueline, and I expect a lot from Mary Jane, my other NMD, because these women, I mean, they were so excited, ready to go. You know, she's a little tempered right now, trying to stay, you know, trying to talk to you guys, but because she's scared that there's so many people on the call. But I told her, you need to tell people that you're just an ordinary person, but you have extraordinary dreams. That's really what it's all about. And I wanted you guys to know that, you know, when I sat down with these women and their family, I got them to fill out their own app, right? I used their field training appointments as training appointments for them, because this is what they're going to do for families. I had them fill out their own apps. I had them enter their own recruits. I had them teach each other the back office. So I wanted you to understand that their appointments and their time with me was very much condensed. Number one, we had a sense of urgency. I was flying back to Southern California the next day. So some of the things I wanted to share is for you to get your business going really fast is that create a sense of urgency for yourself. I was flying back the next day. I didn't have time to go, you know, I closed 11 apps with them. I didn't have time to go drive to 11 different places. So we had everybody come to one place. So that's my suggestion, is that when you're building, you have to have people come to one place, try to come to you. Number two is come with the expectation that something big is going to happen. We told people, come prepared. This is a business opportunity that is going to change your life. It's not another one of those things. So it's how you present it. They came and they were ready to become part of the company. They didn't ask so many questions. They had already knew, based on the excitement and the credibility of the people that were inviting them, that this is something they had to do. It wasn't even an option. That's number two, is how do you present it? Number three is they came with their checkbooks. They all came with checkbooks. I took a picture and I sent it to Dan and Kelly and some of my uplines that we had an app writing party. What's an app writing party? Where we sat along this really long table and everybody was filling out their own apps and everybody was writing checks. And I took a picture of all the apps and all the checks and all the different colors of the checks, and I sent it to them because they were excited. It was a party, that we ate, we had dessert. It was something very festive. It wasn't something very serious. This was an opportunity. Jacqueline was telling me, I always wanted to have protection on my family. I have 3 kids. I want my parents to have protection. She has a newborn baby. She wants a better future. She set up a plan so that her kids can have college funding, so that, they can have a better tomorrow, so that hopefully they don't have to struggle as much as she has. And then she was telling me through her IUL, she wants to overfund it so that they can save up and buy their own home. You see, these are ordinary people, but they have extraordinary dreams and extraordinary, determination to be somebody, to go somewhere, to give their family a better life than what they had. That's what everybody wants. And so we condensed time frames and we filled out all the apps together, because I wasn't going to be able to fill 11 apps by myself. Taught them how to run illustrations very simply, went over the back office. I mean, I used that as an opportunity to get them jump-started in their field training and fast-starting them. So when you don't have a lot of time with people, you've got to make the most of it. We still had a lot of fun, but it was serious. It was business. It was about moving them forward. And everybody had the best attitude. We probably weren't done until like 10-something. I didn't get back to my hotel until 11-something or something like that. And I had been out all day morning from 9 a.m. And that's what it takes to build the business. And that's what it takes to build a base shop. And like I said, I haven't worked that hard in 10 years. But I'm willing to do it because why? Because I want my team to see an example of success. I want my team to see that I'm in the trenches with them, that I am side by side with them, trying to build a business and I want to change my life and I want to go places with them, I'm not telling them to do things that I myself wouldn't do. And they see that, and they see my commitment to them. And I want them to have that with their teams. And as I'm helping them recruit as they're going out to National Marketing Director, that doesn't mean that they're done. That doesn't mean that I move on to my next base shop or my next people. I've committed to making them successful, making them strong National Marketing Directors. I don't want it to just be a title for them. I want them to be the first stepping stone to building their future and accomplishing all their dreams. And so that's where I want to say that there's some tips that I want to give you. And I want to say thank you very much, Jacqueline. Is there anything you want to add before I move on? Feel free. Any advice you want to give people or anything you want to say?
I just want to say get excited and have faith and a strong desire to get ahead.
Oh, thank you. And so I wanted to continue on and tell you something. I'm in the field every single day. I'm in the field every single day. I'm recruiting directs. I'm going wide because as you promote people out of your base shop, right, you need to have new people come in. And I don't want to promote people out just to give them a title. I want to make sure that they're strong, that they can stand on their own. So they're not going on their own. So I just wanted to share that with you, that I'm not using, what I'm doing just to move people out. That's not the point. And I wanted to share some tips of what I'm doing because I'd like to give some value of how we're moving so quickly. And number one, what I'm doing with my team is that each leg that I'm working with, right, at my Sacramento team, I got them all together. We had lunch, we had dinner, we trained together, we wrote apps together. I'm going to come back up there and do field training with them. And down here, this Wednesday, my LA team, because I live in Orange County, down in Southern California, I'm getting my team together Wednesday. I have 6 directs and their spouses. They're all business owners. So that leg, they're coming, 12 of them, to my house. I'm going to cook lunch for them, and I'm going to spend time training them and getting them all written up. That's for my newest NMD, Cliff Davila. He became NMD this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Everything was done. So I'm getting all his people together, and he's bringing extra guests to my house so that I can have an emergency base shop meeting for his base shop. So just because he's out of my base shop doesn't mean that I'm letting him go. He's still a baby in the business. So what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to go through the system with them. I'm going to do financial reviews for them all, and then I'm going to write them up once I have it, and I'm going to get them all going, and we're going to make phone calls. So we have the energy and the synergy of being together, and they're going to see that what it takes. I'm going to show them what servant leadership looks like. I'm going to cook dinner for them. I'm going to serve them. I want them to duplicate what I'm doing for their teams. How can you help your team be better? What can you do to make them more successful? So that's what I want to imprint on my leaders. I want them to know that it's not about them, it's about their people, getting them to where they want to go so that they ultimately can get to where they need to go. And we're going to do that. And then for my other team that I'm building in San Jose, I'm going to come up there. I'm telling you all these things is because you need to be really strategic about what you do. I look at this as a business, and I'm very strategic, and I track everything, right? Some of the tips I can tell you is that I have a group text. I downloaded an app. It's called GroupMe, so that I can keep in contact with my entire team. My team is like 20 people, 22 people. It's not very big, but we're very connected, and they know I care about them. And we keep in contact. You know what we are going to talk about on these things? I don't like to send 10,000 text messages. That's not the type of person I am. But I'm going to send accomplishments, how many recruits, how many sales, the results of field training, what happened in the field. I want to talk about, anything that was exciting and good news so that we could share with one another. Even though they're in different base shops, they're still under me. They're still under my team. They're my super base, so they still all matter. I want to communicate with them like that. I also have a Dropbox file that I share with my team so that all the forms, everything that I can do to make this business better, my presentation, all my notes, everything I found, what companies I like, everything I put in there. I'm going to share with my team, and I started sharing with my key leaders so that they can go right there. If they need a quick app, whatever it is they need, it's going to be there. All my tools, I'm putting it all out there for my team. That's the second thing, so that we're all right on the same page. The third thing that I'm doing for my team is that every quarter I'm going to get my team together, and I'm going to spend money, and I'm going to have a team dinner, lunch, whatever it is, on my dime, and I'm going to share appreciation, success of what we did. Every quarter I expect it to be better than last quarter. That's just how I am. And I want to share the wealth with them of, whether it was, not whether, but how successful we will be. I'm going to share it with them. And then also I have a calendar of everybody's birthdays, so I can make sure that we recognize their birthdays and their anniversaries. I started doing that. And then I also started doing, things such as, like, for the group, for each of the leaders, I'm going to have time for them. I'm going to do my individual Skype training, because I'm building teams in 4 different locations. So we're going to have Skype training meetings so people can call in, and I can do my presentations. I can go over any questions they may have so that I'm accessible to them, and we can see each other, and we can keep in constant communication. So I'm looking to build my business. Every single day is filled, it's packed, right, with field training appointments, recruiting, everything, but also making time to show them that I want to personally develop them. And I also have a group calendar so that my key people can book my schedule for field training. So I need to build, I need to be good enough and be able to educate me so that I can send them off to go field train their own teams. So I'm very strategic. I'm not throwing a business against the wall hoping it's going to. I'm going step by step each leg and under them. Okay? So you have to look at your business and build it the right way. Because if you don't build it the right way, once you have 20, 40, 100, 200, 6,000 people, you don't have control over what's going on in your team. That's how much money you have and how much money on and on and on. Dysfunctionality is all the way. So right now, I'm building a piece, and I suggest around from outside, new years, rebuilding your base shop. Even if you have a base shop, go to a new base shop and rebuild. Because it's easier to go out and train new leaders than remotivate followers or people who physically have died in the it's a lot harder. When that seeing the field, busting it every single day, and it's you're say, gosh, I can get your business. Versus, all the talking, all the conference calls, and all this. That's and getting in the field with your new dream. You need people. Can't let anyone just the most important thing to me, I want to know exactly in the right way. I just wanted to see. I have lots of other tips. I'm sure you have that work well for you. But what it means about me that you're going to know is I'm about to do things. I want to be successful quickly. I don't want to take years to figure this thing out. I want to hit the ground running. I owe it to my people. They entrust their future to me, and I take that responsibility very seriously. And so those are some of the to share with you. And one of the things that I found really different and unique was we did a Women in Wealth event in Folsom, and it was organized with myself and my upline, Rob Hodges, who I really appreciate for helping me in so many different ways. Such a team player. You should be so lucky to have an upline like him. Give him a call, because I don't know how. He's in the middle of an appointment and drops it and gets out and gives me 15 apps because he knows I'm writing them up. That's called servant leadership, and that's something that I am duplicating with my team. I hope to show them that they need to do that as well. So this all came from the Women in Wealth event, and I put together a couple presentations that are very quick. I don't believe in having long presentations, so I want to show you where we have 100% success in recruiting people, and 10 of them from my team, and all 10 are coming aboard and have come aboard, actually. I think I have 2 more that I have to put in because I've been busy. And so it's 100% from my team. And this is some of the things that I used, so I wanted to share it with you to show you that this is a way for you to recruit quickly versus one by one. So the first one I did was a Women in Wealth. They're both for women. I mean, obviously we love men too. And I actually have men on my team, just so you know. Someone asked me, do you have any men on your team? I looked and I believe I have 6 or 7 men out of the 22 people we have. So we welcome men too. So this is my Women in Wealth. And this is some of the things, obviously I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it on the screen. But we're letting people know that, you know, women are a growing economic force, right? They account for half the labor force. 10 million businesses are owned by women, and they're senior managers, and they make up 1/3 of all physicians, surgeons, and attorneys. And so women really are a dominating force in the economic, you know, in economics. And nearly 1 million women hold more than 2 million nations are women. Of their family's past. And you're talking to the man, but you know the woman is really making the decision in case you didn't know. At this point, 9 out of 10 of women will earn of all bachelor's degrees, 59% of all master's, and 52% of all doctoral degrees. In the past, 2 main avenues to wealth were marriage and inheritance. Nowadays, that's not the case. The bottom line is women are learning more ever. And, you know, what we believe at QS2 is we can help women, you know, women navigate all the complexities of life. Marriage, divorce, you know, if you ever want to get married as it applies to finances. I tell women, even if you never marry or you are married, you need to know what to do with your money. Your husband may divorce you, he may die, you may never get married. You should not count on your husband to take care of your family. You must be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And that's the I preach. So we tell people here too walks of life, married, divorced, widows, right? Because women will outlive their spouses on average. Women outlive their husbands. And, you know, we can't everybody being single. They may not have had access to were married. And also, we're really good here at QS2. We're providing our clients with a broad range of management and retirement planning services. Make sure that our golden years, your golden years are truly golden. So we want to make sure that we help women get prepared for retirement, because Social Security is a broke system. It's not going to be there for them. It's not a guarantee. So the message that we're giving women is that it's okay to get literacy. It's okay to learn about money. You should learn about money. And we also let them know that women, the health of a spouse and caring for an aging parent ranks among their top worries. If you ask a woman, what is the most important thing, you know, outside of their kids, it's the health of their spouse and taking care of their parents. They're also concerned about becoming a burden themselves. 70% of people over 65 need some form of long-term care over their lifetime, but there's very little discussion and planning for it. So long-term care ownership right now remains really low, despite concerns for health care costs, that they will erode a woman's assets and cause them to be a burden. Well, we tell them here at QS2, we can assist in planning for critical areas such as financial and estate planning, long-term care, disability, and health insurance needs. The next generation. The financial well-being of children and grandchildren is among the greatest concerns expressed by women. Women tend to worry more about the next generation than men do. Here at QS2, we're on the forefront of financial education plans to help multiple generations of women learn to be financially independent. We also talk about philanthropy. That's something that's really big to my heart. 90% of women are the decision makers when it comes to charitable giving. Women account for 62% of donors who make gifts to charities after their death. 75% of women see that giving back is a responsibility of wealth. They also see giving as a way to pass on values to the next generation. This is true even though women in general earn less than men, have less money in retirement, and outlive their spouses. Women still make 72% on the dollar to man, but yet they are more generous. And we let them know that we have solutions here at QS2 customized to each woman's needs. QS2 has the expertise, capabilities to effectively help women respond to and prepare for potential life events and roles. We understand the increasing impact of women in our society, both economically and culturally. We also understand the issues that are unique to women and the different approaches to wealth that women may have and how we apply planning techniques to address women's needs. And then my other one that I wanted you guys to see is my kind of the one I use for recruiting. This one's really quick. I like this one. I've used it to recruit pretty much every woman that I have on my team and other women for other people's teams. It's called Women Power the Financial World at QS2. Recruiting all women. According to a 2008 Pershing study, women comprise of just 36% of the financial industry's advisors. Now think about that. Women make only 36% of the financial industry's advisors, yet we make up 52% of the population. There's a huge discrepancy and disparity right there. The growth rate is only up 6% since 2003. So for the last 10 plus years, we're only growing at 6%. That's mind-boggling. So financial advisors are in extremely high demand, but more importantly, in my mind, women financial advisors are in extremely higher demand. Women financial advisors wanted. From 2010 to 2020, personal financial advisory will grow by 32% per the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What does that mean? And they track other companies and industries, which on average about 14% growth rates are predicted. I'm a total nerd, so I love statistics. I am excited to see that for the next, 8 to 10 years, we are expected in this industry to grow by 32%, which is about 2.5 times the rest of the industries that they're tracking. What does that mean? That means that there's a huge need for what we do when the average person in this industry is 58 years old, is a male, and is Caucasian. What does that mean? Opportunities for minorities, opportunities for women, and opportunities for people who are younger than 58. That's what it means. QS2 is on the cutting edge of providing women with a business model that really works and leverages their female strengths and talents. I believe women have a lot of great assets, and one of their strengths and assets are being able to be empathetic and able to walk in other people's shoes, not really being a hard closing salesperson, but more of a teacher, an advisor. They're very sympathetic and empathetic, and I think that here, what I tell people that I'm really impressed about with QS2 is that we are building platforms to help female advisors attract female clients and other female advisors. And then I go into my example of what I mean by having these women in wealth seminars and having, a platform like I tell them we're planning to have a radio show on Fridays just for women so that they can call in with their concerns about the business and how to juggle being a mom and a wife and having a job and doing QS2. I think that's a real need. And we're also going to have other things like Women in Wealth events around different parts of the country. We're also going to have on the website a tab so that we can have a link just for women advisors and women on the team so that we can keep up with the latest women, what they're doing and how successful they are. And I'm excited for the last several NMD promotions. I was looking at the numbers. I think there are like 10, 11 of them, and I think like 95% of them were women. I was super excited. I told Dan, finally, the playing field is really level here. We're promoting more of what we really need, which is women, right? So we're doing more things, and I am excited that this company doesn't just talk about being on the cutting edge in terms of just technology, but being on the cutting edge of following the trends and understanding that women make up more of the population. We need to attract more of them into the business. We need to attract more minorities. We don't want to be just, for me, I'll give you an example. My team is very multicultural, ethnically diverse. I have a Latino team. I have a Filipino team. I have an African-American team. I'm building all across every ethnicity. I'm getting into every market. I don't want to just be one type of team. That's not the type of builder I am. So I wanted to attract women and minorities into this business. And so I'm telling you right now, I'm excited about the platforms that we are building. And also QS2 is on the forefront of creating mentoring programs. You know, I never had a mentor in the business growing up, and I look forward to other women and to a whole-class team of women who understand that a committed group of women working together whose souls are on fire will revolutionize and change the industry and the world in general. QS2 is the right place for you. And that is my recruiting presentation for women. Short, simple, sweet, to the point, and letting them know that
Lily, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. That is incredible. Randy, can you hear me?
I can
Randy?
hear you, Kelly. I can hear you, Kelly.
Fantastic. Lily,
Yeah, we can hear you, Kelly.
Okay, I didn't know if you could. Our reception keeps going in and out. Folks, you just heard from one of the #1 income earners in this world. Lily is a one-of-a-kind person, special person. And for us to be able to have someone of her caliber, someone that has her background, her pedigree, be able to be in QS2 and help lead the charge, you have no idea what that means to each and every person in this company. Is Joel Christie out there tonight? Joel, you there? Joel Christie, are you out there? Randy, did you unmute Joel?
He was on someone else's phone earlier, Kelly. Let me see if he's on the other line. Hang on.
Okay. Folks, we're having some technical difficulties. Just bear with us for a second.
Yeah, I don't see Joel on the main attendee list, Kelly. I think someone had him on his phone.
We can't even hear you, Scott.
Scott's line is open.
Speak, Scott. No, we can't hear anything from you.
Yeah, his line's open, Kelly. Scott's is open.
Well, we have no reception on it for some reason.
Yeah.
Scott, why don't you get your line fixed or see what you can do? If you have to use another phone, let's call in. Folks, I'm going to make a couple comments real quickly. What you do this month is going to set up the next 90 days of income for you. What you do the next 90 days is going to set up the next 12 months of income for you. And what you do in the next 12 months literally is going to determine your career with QS2 if you do it right. Okay, there are a few key things that you need to. And first and foremost, you have to have the right attitude. Believe me, when we started this company over a year ago, let me tell you the good news about a startup is that you're in the ground floor. You have a chance to compete with everybody. Your income's unlimited. In a startup, that's where big income's made. Well, let me tell you the problem with the startup is it's a startup, and we all have challenges day in, day out. It doesn't seem like anything goes smoothly in a startup. Well, folks, let me tell you where we're at today with Stanley Byers on board, being able to mentor Dan and Jim. You're going to see an entirely different company. That being able to mentor myself, being able to have Joel Christie mentor me. When I talk to Stanley every day, talk to Joel every day, what I find out is how little I really know. And folks, if you understand the power of the words I just communicated to you, when you find a mentor who's built 7 different insurance companies, taking them from startup to the largest publicly traded company on NASDAQ, that's called a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So guess what the key is there? The key is to have the right attitude, the right mindset, the right commitment, In other words, you got to plant your flag. You have to be teachable and coachable. I don't care what your background is. It doesn't matter whether you're college educated or not. It doesn't matter whether you're a teacher, coach, whether you're a fireman, policeman. All that stuff is irrelevant. The only thing that is relevant is your attitude, mindset, your commitment, how teachable and coachable you are. But let me tell you what the last one is. It's being willing to take action and do it right now. If you haven't set goals yet in this company, if you haven't set goals, you need to get back with the person who invited you on this call, and if they're not qualified, if they're newer themselves, go upline until you find a seasoned professional. You need to tell them whether you're part-time, full-time, how many hours a day, how many hours a week, what your goals are. It's our job to help you, show you a business plan, whether you're part-time, full-time, show you a business plan how to achieve your goals. See, the only thing you have to bring is your attitude, mindset, commitment. Bring your work ethic, folks. You have to be teachable and coachable. You have to go get a license. You have to learn our products and services. If you will do what I'm talking about, we can show you how to achieve any goal you want to achieve, no matter how little it is or how big it is. We have mentors in this company, folks, that have done it at the highest level. And what I want to do right now is I want to recognize a few people in our... Yes.
Hey, Kelly, I have Joel Christie on before you do that. I got him on.
Fantastic. Joel, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Joel, good to have you on tonight. Joel, you were the gentleman who actually introduced Art Williams to Stanley Byer, and it literally changed the insurance world as we know it today. Joel, take the next 10, 15 minutes and share your thoughts with us that whether you're a seasoned professional or you're a brand new person, why don't you share your thoughts on what a new person has to do to really take advantage of this?
Okay. Well, it's always good to speak with people who've already achieved the experience of, let's say, being referred to as a leader, and this is a leader's call. And we have quite a few achieving that title now, along with quite a few others who are, let's say, very close to being acknowledged as a leader. Lily is certainly a leader, and Lily, congratulations on the weekend that you had, and we appreciate the information you gave to us. So this is a great way to, let's say, start 2014. Here we can acknowledge our QS2 shortcomings during this past first year. We all had shortcomings. And at the same time, let our team players know, the ones that are on the phone, the team players know, that corporate management is not wasting any time in acknowledging our shortcomings and letting all of you team players know that every issue is now in the process of being properly addressed. So the QS2 updated corporate philosophy is that our sales leaders and sales representatives come first, as long as they strive to correct their own shortcomings in their own operations. The field leader system is to attract, recruit, and then train qualified candidates who can prove their desire to attain our national marketing director levels in the shortest period of time, hopefully within 15 to 25 days. Now, these individuals should also understand that you guys, you ladies out there, their immediate field leader in that geographic area are there to specifically assist them in achieving their goals. They have their own goals, and we're there to help them achieve their goals, especially if they want to be in the national marketing director and above levels of overrides. Here's a few words that I put together that I would like to share with you. You may want to take a couple of notes because I think each of these things that I'm going to mention affect all of us. Number one, be sure to keep your thoughts and your words in harmony with your personal goals. Your thoughts and words should be in harmony with your personal goals. Productive daily experiences today should teach all of us three things: discipline and greater intelligence and self-control, better than yesterday. Place close attention to your professional behavior and your conduct so that it matches your sales management achievements. There's no value, no benefit in being a great sales manager as far as making great sales and building this and that, but at the same time to have your behavior or conduct looked down upon by your peers. So learn to express yourself through actions and words that build others up and increase their personal dignity. Learn to express yourself through actions and words that build others up and increase their personal dignity. Very important. That's how you develop relationships that last. Good relationships, not bad ones. Make sure that you practice your skills every day, knowing that one bad act can take away all the value of your last good accomplishments. And as leaders, you need to know that, you need to understand it, and put value on that. All of us should learn to, let's say, detach our egos from ourselves. And that's a smarter way of conducting ourselves in front of others. So having solid, meaningful goals and achieving them is just part of life. So enjoy doing it. It's better to enjoy what you're doing than having problems as you go through it. So learn to practice patience in your everyday dealings with others. Remain focused, concentrated, and work towards personal self-control and discipline. And you'll be surprised how your life will change very, very rapidly. People will come to you rather than run away from you. So life is more enjoyable when you do things that are not boring. And if you really put yourself into the QS2 systems, you'll never be bored. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is attitude. It's attitude and just a little extra effort. Remember that. Ordinary and extraordinary. The difference is attitude and just a little bit extra effort. So we can help a lot of others to alter their lives by altering their thinking. And that's an important function of leaders. Help people alter their thinking. Let them think more of themselves. Show them that they can reach their goals. So we all have to have a strong, well-defined vision as to where we're going. Keep it as a sharp vision in your head all the time. And you know, there's things that we learn from the past. As an example, all great movements undergo three main stages. First, and I think Kelly was talking about some of that this evening from a year ago when the company started. All great movements undergo three main stages. First, people laugh and ridicule when they hear it. Then they start to discuss it among themselves. That's the second way. And then the third way is they join. They come in because they realize, hey, this really makes a lot of sense. So if we all put our best foot forward and remain unified, there are some great potential future happenings in store for all of us. And Mr. Beyer will tell you about that when the next 6 to 8 months of results have arrived. If we can do the next 6 to 8 months in the manner that we should, then there will be some very, very good things for the people that are on this telephone call right now and many others that are going to be joining us. So as leaders, we should see things occurring through the eyes of patience and also endurance. Have patience in what you're doing, have endurance, and if you're, as an individual, have either a dislike or hatred towards anyone, you know, in the way that you may think about people. And remember, if you're a leader, if you as an individual have either dislike or hate towards anyone, replace it. Replace it with love, and your life will change. So in conclusion for tonight's call, I'm only taking a few more moments here. The next 6 to 8 months of seeing some great production and excellent cooperation and our effective systems being activated by all field sales managers that'll go a long way to accomplishing Mr. Byer's aspirations for all of us and QS2 as a company. So we can be benefiting ourselves as individuals and also as a company by just doing the things that we should be doing over the next 6 to 8 months. But I'll let Mr. Byer get to those thoughts at the appropriate time, when all of us accomplish what we should be doing. Now, notice I didn't say if we get to where we want to go. We will get where we want to go, and when we do it, Mr. Byer will let us know what's in store for us. So, Kelly, that's all I want to say tonight. It's been a long phone call, and I'll turn it back to you.
Joel, thank you so much. I want to thank Lily, thank Dan. Folks, I'm going to close on this tonight. Let me tell you why so many people fail and they should succeed in this business. Everybody wants to build an organization, but what very few people actually understand and do is you can make a full-time income on your own pen until your overrides kick in. Let me give you an example. Lily, from Friday to last night, wrote $104,000 on her own pen. She did a meeting, had 14 people in it, had 10 people sign up, and literally over the next 48 hours wrote $104,000 in premium. Well, Lily, conservatively, folks, conservatively, made $50,000 on her pen in a 48-hour time frame, if not more. Rob Hodges, from Friday night to today, I'm not sure the exact amount he'd written, but I know a couple days ago it was $70,000, literally $70,000 in 48 hours. Folks, if you'll get in the habit of writing an app 2-3 apps a day, okay, how do you write an app 2-3 apps a day? Well, first of all, you have to recruit someone new. Number 2, you do a financial needs analysis, help them with what's suitable, and internal consumption sell for their family. And then you take them out and do 5 field training sales. Pretty simple deal here. Well, Lily, over the weekend, I want you to listen to this again. She helped 3 new people become fully qualified NMDs by field training them. That's part of how she wrote that $104,000. Folks, if you want to stay in this business and create financial independence for you and your family, I have a suggestion for you, and live by it, die by it, teach your people to do it. Live on your own pen. Have a goal to write 1, 2, 3 apps a day, and I know you may think that's outlandish. It's not outlandish. If you're recruiting 5, 10 new people a month, there's your 5, 10 new sales. Well, out of them 5 to 10 people, if you help 3 or 4 of them become qualified NMDs, guess what? You're writing 10, 20, 30 apps on your own pen. But folks, this is so simple, it's not funny. Live on your own pen. When you get your management overrides, cash your check, pay your taxes, and put it in your retirement. It is so simple. So I'll close on this again. Get with the person who invited you. If you don't have your goals set, folks, you're not in business if you don't have your goals. Let someone who's qualified help you set short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. Let someone who's qualified show you how to qualify your top 25 list, your top 10 list. Let someone who's qualified show you how to start inviting people to meetings and setting up one-on-one appointments. See, you hear me say let someone who's qualified help you. Folks, if you'll allow your mentor who's qualified to help you, guess what they're going to do? They're going to put money in your pocket. It's so simple. I'd like to thank everybody on the call tonight. Let's have a fantastic week. Let's make this week a record-breaking week. Thanks a million.
Good night.